Good morning, everyone. Today we have skill 19, invert the subject and verb with comparison on page 138. Now, these skills are dealing with the inversion between the subject and the verb, the cases in which this inversion is correct. Now, earlier we talked about the inversion between the subject and the verb when we have question words or when we have a question in general. So the verb or the helping verb comes first, then we have the subject, and then we have a main verb, and then the complement of the sentence if we have questions. And we keep it the same if the words or the words used usually in questions like where, what, where, and how, and all these are used as connectors, not as question words. We keep the sentence as is. Now in skill 19, we will see the possibility of inverting the subject and the verb when we make comparison. Now, if you look at the three sentences here, my sister spends more hours in the office than John. Just a normal sentence. My sister, subject, spends the verb. More hours, just the comparison, in the office than John. This is just a normal sentence with comparison. Or we can say, my sister spends more hours in the office than John does. So here John does is actually adding a helping verb after John is also possible in comparison. Or you can say with inversion, like saying, my sister spends more hours in the office than does John. So in this sentence, we see that you can make a comparison only with a compared to, like the compared and the compared to, where sister is compared to John. So John is just a word without having a helping verb or a verb. In the second sentence, my sister spends more hours in the office than John does, we added the helping verb does. It could be happening. My sister spends more hours in the office than does John. So it is flexible. So we can find inversion in comparisons and we can keep the sentence as is. So it doesn't make any difference and it doesn't make the sentence incorrect if inverted or not inverted. So it's up to you, the person who wrote the sentence or is talking in the sentence, to make the inversion or not to make it. Now, if you look at the examples, this candidate has received more votes than has any other candidate in the previous years. This candidate is the subject, has received the verb. More votes than, this is the comparison sentence. Has any other candidate. Here we made an inversion. So is there anything wrong in making an inversion with comparison? There is nothing wrong with that. So this sentence is correct. We just inverted the place of the subject and the verb. So after than, which is the comparison or comparative word, we put the helping verb has, and then we put candidate, which is the compared to. So we can put verb and then the compared to, we can put the compared to, then the verb, or we can just put a compared to without even adding any verb in the sentence. Number 2, obviously we were much more impressed with the performance than did the other members of the audience. We were much more impressed. We is the subject, were is actually the verb of the sentence. More impressed with the performance than, this is the comparative sentence. Did, then we have also, it's obviously that we have an inversion with comparison. We have did, the other members. Now, first, when we look at the inversion, we'll say this is correct inversion because did is the helping verb and members is actually the compared to. But did is different from where. Now, in comparison, we should remain with the same structure or with the same grammatical rule. We have where as a helping verb used as a main verb from verbs to be, but did belongs to verbs to do. In comparison, we should keep the same helping verb or using a helping verb suitable for the sentence. So where is different from did because where is a helping verb from verbs to be and it doesn't make an action. Did is a helping verb from verbs to do and it makes an action. In comparison, we should keep the same level of the structure and we should keep the helping verb in the same structural rule or in a grammar. So this sentence is incorrect because there is a wrong verb used in the inversion. Number 3, the film that we saw last night at the festival was far better than any of the other films. So the film is the subject that we saw last night was better than any of the other films. So we saw it was better than any of the other films. Any of the other films is just compared to without any verbs added, and there is no inversion. So the sentence is correct, just normal sentence. Number 4, the vegetables at the market this morning were far fresher than were those at the market yesterday. So vegetables, where, this is subject and a verb. Fresher than, this is the comparative sentence. Where. So where belongs to the second compared to sentence. Where those. So this is correct because there's this same structure kept where. And then we have inversion, which is also possible and which is also correct in comparison. So the sentence number 4 is definitely correct. Number 5, I'm afraid that is the condition of these tires as bad as the condition of the others. I'm afraid that is. This sentence has a wrong inversion. It is incorrect. The inversion used is wrong. So we have to say, I'm afraid that the condition of these tires is as bad as the condition of the others. So the inversion is not on the right place. So this sentence, number 5, incorrect. There's a wrong inversion in it. Number 6, we firmly believe that our team could achieve a much faster time than any of the others. Much faster time than. So firmly believe, this is subject and a verb. Much faster than, this is the comparison word. Any of the others, this is the compared to. It's just a compared to sentence without any helping verb used, and there is no inversion, and it is possible, and then it makes number 6 sentence correct. Number 7, this apple pie is not as good as the last one that you made. This apple pie is not as good as the last one. That you made is just another sentence added with a connector. So this apple pie, this is the subject, is not, is this the verb, as good as, this is the comparison, or as we call it, an unequal comparison. The last one, the compared to. So we have a compared and a compared to without inversion and without a helping verb. And this sentence is possible and it is correct. Number 8, on the fishing trip, Bobby caught twice as many fish as anyone else did. On the fishing trip, Bobby caught twice as many fish as anyone else did. It is a correct sentence. Bobby is the compared. Caught is a verb to in the past. Twice as many fish as, this is the comparison sentence. Anyone else did, without making any inversion. We just said anyone did. So as we see, did and caught belong actually to the same simple past action verb. So the sentence is definitely correct in 8. Number 9, the final speaker gave us more details than had any of the previous speakers. The final speaker, this is the compared or the subject, gave, this is simple past verb. More details than, this is the comparison word, had any of the previous speakers, had any. So the final speaker gave, this is simple past. Then the helping verb used in the comparison is had. Do they actually belong to the same structural rule or the same grammatical or rule or the same tense? Of course it is not, because the final speaker gave in a simple past sentence. Had, this is past perfect. So the verb used in the comparison is incorrect. So we have incorrect verb use in the comparison. It should be more details than did any of the previous speakers, because we already said that in comparison we should remain the same structure in the helping verb used after the comparison word then. So number 9 is incorrect because there's a wrong verb use. Number 10, do you know why does he need to sleep so many hours than do the others? Do you know, this is the question word or the question sentence where we made an inversion. So why here just a connector. We can't say why does he need. So the sentence should be, do you know why he needs to sleep so many hours than do the others? Because in questions, we only make one inversion in the part of the sentence. Now we have two parts, do you know and why he needs. So we can't make two inversions in one sentence for questions. We just make an inversion for the first sentence, which is obviously a yes-no question. So do you know? Do you know? This is the inversion made for the question. We can't make a second inversion in the same sentence. Why here is just a connector. So do you know why he needs to sleep so many hours? So this sentence number 10 is incorrect where there is unnecessary inversion or a wrong inversion is made. That is all about skill 19. We'll see you in next skill.